We are live yet again in Degen Fantasy Friday, September 13th. Got a ton to cover today, but I just want you guys to know, if you're viewing on TikTok, what I have to go through to get it live for y'all. So apparently, for some reason on TikTok, the only way you can go live is through an HP computer. I do not have one. I use a Mac. My little brother has one, though, and he lives down the street. So I have to drive all the way to his house, prep it, set it to go live, and then drive all the way back. So I appreciate the patience from everybody. I'm here joined by Admiral, Brian, Double Down Dan, and Rocky Prop. You know, I had to flex in a couple new overlays because I know there's going to be a lot of people in here today. Gentlemen, what the fuck?
All right, I want to start off real quick. Hold on. Let me get in this. Listen, AFC still runs through fucking Buffalo. Want that to be very clear to everybody here. DeMar Hamlin took his turn murdering someone else instead of himself for once this time. And, man, we came out looking like goddamn gangbusters. Josh Allen had a fucking game. James Cook scored me about 30 points in one of my fantasy leagues. Josh Allen scored a paltry fucking 9.76, really butt-fucked me in one of my leagues. But you know what? Got to tell you, I really love winning, when it comes to the NFL. I don't give a fuck. I'm sad for Tua. I think he's probably got to really fucking maybe consider retirement at this point. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but 5 concussions in the span of 3 years is not good, man.
Damn, I keep forgetting because everybody on ESPN keeps saying 4, that it is 5. So my overlay is wrong, but it was. I don't know if I'm the only one, but like when you look at this clip, right when he took off, Brian, I don't know if you felt the same. Right when he took off, I saw it coming a mile away because I just felt how the game was going. And right when he took off, my heart kind of just sunk. And then for him to not only dive head first, he dove head first for no reason because he already had the first down. When you're 3 years old throwing a football, they tell you, hey, if you ever play quarterback, you should probably slide. I don't understand was he trying to get his team into it? It's 30-10 and it's 4th and whatever. Absolutely unreal circumstances for just Tua in general. Obviously, you know, all the well wishes to him, fantasy football aside and sports betting aside. He did fuck a couple of my parlays and every fantasy team I own because he wanted to be a hero. Regardless of it, I want to get Brian involved here real quick before you go.
What did you think about yesterday's game? Go ahead.
I mean, I texted both of you when the Tua incident happened, and I was like, did he just die on the field? It was very much like that Flacco late hit against Miami, where he had the hand up, and you knew he was concussed the moment he got hit. He didn't move. So, man, sucks for Tua. Sucks for Miami. What is Miami going to do if he's out for an extended period?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Like, they have to fucking go out and get a quarterback. You can't let this team, with the amount of money you spent, like, you can't let this team kind of flounder. Like, who knows when he's going to be back at this point? This is like, we're nearing on like a real situation. The biggest thing that I saw yesterday, he's limping around the fucking stadium, basically. No one's helping this guy to the fucking locker room. They didn't cart him right back. Like, he literally had to walk his ass from fucking getting knocked out on the field to the locker room yesterday. I'm sitting there like, why would you not cart his ass back there? 1. 2, I mean, he was out on his feet. You clearly saw the kid was fucking like, he was limping. He was staggering as he's walking. Like, I don't, one thing you got to fucking really question is like, Miami knew he had issues with this concussion shit. They knew, and he clearly lost weight over the offseason to be faster, to run more. And like, why wasn't anyone on that coaching staff like, dude, you didn't get hurt last year. You didn't get hurt last year and you gained weight. Like, yeah, you didn't have the best year, but it's not like the Dolphins fucking sucked dick last year. They were like a pretty decent
Or 70
team.
points in one game.
The Broncos were all time terrible when that happened. But they had their rough parts, but what, they win like 10 games last season? I'm quite sure it was 10 or 11 games, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You didn't have a bad season. Why would you lose weight on top? Like, you're already a tiny guy. Like, you get hit a couple times. Like, Russell, the problem is right now, realistically, Russell Wilson gave a lot of false hope to a lot of people. Like, that's the reason why Bryce Young is the starting quarterback in Carolina right now.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, you said 5th. Are you sure it's his 5th? I'm pretty sure it's his 4th.
I keep hearing that everyone, because that Buffalo game, he wasn't diagnosed with a fucking. He was stumbling around the field, and they said it was a back thing. Like, you're
they weren't including that. I thought they were including that.
I watched that game. They said it was a fucking back thing. He ended up coming back into that game. They said it was a back thing. He was clearly concussed and out on the fucking field.
That was a concussion. That's 4. It's that game, Cincinnati right after, and then another one against, I think it was the Seahawks, or no, it was the Bills again where he got slammed down, and then this one. That's 4.
Yeah. Well, okay. So maybe I'm counting wrong, but still, 4 is too many fucking concussions in 3 years. That's too fucking many, dude.
Yeah, and we can continue to talk over this. Like, just right when he took off, I had a terrible feeling, and especially it's weird for DeMar to hit him, but that's called fencing. His whole left side of his body is constricting. His right toe and his right legs are all bent out. He's got the same finger thing that was happening last time. And it's weird to me to think that the Miami Dolphins went in and spent draft capital on another young, fast running back when they know damn well they have this local white-looking rapper as a backup quarterback, instead of going out and trying to get anyone that could possibly fill in, say, if Tua gets his brain smashed against the pavement or anything. Say if it wasn't even his head. Say if he rolled his ankle or broke his leg. Like, do you guys know anything about this kid who's back up? By the way, Dan, check out TikTok for me because my phone's connected to the camera.
Yeah, I got you. I'm watching right now. But
you're good.
Skylar White, that's the
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson, Kansas State kid. He was decent there, but he's a college quarterback. He's not an NFL guy. He's a very low end backup in my opinion. I don't think he's like a guy you want starting multiple games. And when you're paying Tyreek Hill and Waddle so much fucking money, I don't know if you can fucking trot out Skylar Thompson to fucking, like, he looked horrible. A lot of the talk is around Tua and shit like that. The Bills defense was out of their fucking minds yesterday. I thought really the containment on the speed was really, really startling for me because I half expected it to be kind of a track meet. I just thought it would be like a Arizona Cardinals type game because our defense is now, don't get me wrong, the Bills defense has been tackling like way better this fucking year. I don't know what the emphasis has been, but it seems like the emphasis has been to go at the fucking legs and try to just wrap and trip, and that's it. And it really has paid dividends through these first 2 weeks. They were able to shut down the Cardinals basically for that second half, and they basically shut down Miami from after that first touchdown. It was like slogging uphill for Miami all fucking day, when in actuality, we were starting 2 undrafted free agents on the defense. It ended up being 3 undrafted free agents on the defense by the end of the game. A lot that's being missed and not talked about because of the Tua situation is that Buffalo came out and absolutely cock-smacked them from first quarter on.
From start to finish.
And we have to start understanding that while Buffalo is maybe an average team with a really excellent quarterback, like top end quarterback, they might be a pretty good fucking team. I don't know if they're going to win. They won't win the Super Bowl with this iteration of the team. But again, you're still going to have to compete with Buffalo if you want to win the AFC East. And frankly, if I'm watching the Jets, I'm watching the Dolphins, and I'm watching the Patriots and the Bills, I feel like out of the AFC East, the Bills are the class of the division right now. I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I agree. And something just opened up with their offense, not having to rely on, or not even rely on, not having to feel obligated to get someone the ball. And they were talking about how well they were able to spread it around, but also just that it gave Josh Allen more dictation of the offense. and I just want to make sure I have this overlap because this is the topic I wanted to touch on. Is it this one? Yes. After watching Khalil Shakir last night, he reminded me so much of Amon-Ra. I don't know if you guys feel that or not, but the routes, his style of play, everything seems like he's kind of on like an Amon-Ra like path. Not saying he's on Amon-Ra's level. Everyone relax, even though he scored more points this week than Amon-Ra scored last week. I think if he can be utilized and targeted like a number one wide receiver in Buffalo, that he can potentially be that for a Bills offense that just lost Stephon Diggs.
Right, real quick. Tell me who he reminds you of, because I know you're thinking of the same guy I'm thinking of. Go ahead.
Come on. Golden Tate?
Yeah, there you go. Right there. No, not Golden Tate. I'm thinking of the little guy, Edelman, or maybe a fucking
Julian?
Wes Welker. Yeah, I think because of the size and the stature, because of the way he sits down in the zone defense, you notice that he was where he needed to be yesterday. When it came to catching the ball, he would sit down inside the zone defenses a lot like an Edelman or a Welker. I don't think you could compare him to Amon-Ra.
I still like my Golden Tate comp.
It's just that style of play that he has. They both are the same weight, and I'm trying to see right now if they're the same height. They're both the exact same height.
No shot. What?
They're both 6 foot 190.
Amon-Ra's only 6 foot tall. He seems so much taller, in my opinion.
No, he's 6 foot 190, and so is Shakir. Wow. And that's one thing to say about Shakir, because fucking Amon-Ra grew up with a fucking world bodybuilding father. So it's just the route running, the quick slants, the over the middle of the field type game. I just really enjoyed it, and finally got to see Kincaid get involved. But lastly, James fucking Cook finally had his Saquon week.
Yeah, Cook looked like he's finally starting to believe in his legs a little bit. I saw some confidence there when he busted that fucking like 50-yard, 40-yard run or whatever the fuck. It looked like he was kind of pulling a little bit of a Dion, like going down the sidelines, like kind of looking at the motherfucker a little bit. And like, you're not going to catch me. It doesn't even matter what angle you take. Kind of love that that's a great look for Cook. I really, he's poised this year. We called this before the beginning of the season. And again, kudos to us. We knew Cook was going to take a step up this year. We were high on Cook in all of the mock drafts that we did this year. Like, we knew he was going to take a step up. Now, real quick from TikTok. All right. ETN, Rashee Rice, Jordan Mason for Chase, I'm guessing it's Jamar Chase, and Montgomery. Rocky, who wins this trade?
ETN, Rashee Rice, and Jordan Mason for Chase and Montgomery?
Yes.
I think Mason's an expiring asset. I think Rashee Rice is good, but
is Mason expiring? Because today it comes out that CMC is
I
not
saw that
again.
I saw, but when CMC comes back, it's chicken wraps for buddy. I don't know when that is though. Not having CMC's timeline really fucks up a lot of stuff.
There's some shit going on with that.
There is. No, because if you knew McCaffrey wasn't coming back for the rest of the year or for the next 7 weeks, Jordan Mason's an absolute must-have. But so Mason, Rice, and ETN, that's a big package for Chase and Montgomery. I think you need another piece to make that worthwhile. I think just doing it for Chase and Montgomery is not terrible, but I feel like you're giving up 3 quality players for like 1.5 quality players. If Gibbs were to go down, that's more of a fair deal because ETN and Montgomery at that full workload would kind of be the same. But also ETN's his takes are getting eaten up by Tank Bigsby a little bit so far, at least through week 1. Tough. I would want one more thing on top. I'd want, like, with how the shit with Chase has been going, it shouldn't be a 3 for 2. It should be a 3 for 3. So get a little bit more out of that, and I would say pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think he's asking who wins this trade. It's the guy that gets ETN, Rashee Rice, and Jordan Mason.
It's whoever's getting the 3 quality players over the 2 quality players, because right now it's kind of a fucked deal when it's because if you're trading 3 like mid-level guys into 1 high-level guy, then like you're trading volume for value. When you have this much value on each side, you kind of got to get it even in return.
Yeah, you got to do something. You're basically trading for 1 player. If you're only getting Montgomery, because it looks like Chase is not interested in playing football this year. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Holding his wrist, and everyone's freaking out, and they got smoked by the fucking Patriots. It just doesn't look like a good situation over there. Yeah, I mean, Rashee Rice is probably the main piece of that package anyway. So it depends on how much faith you have in Rashee.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. All right, another one from TikTok. Bry, this one's going to be for you. Chubbs is asking, Nico or Godwin this week?
Who did they play? Let me look it up here.
Take your time. We'll work through it.
With the Schwabeskis.
Go. Houston is playing at the Vikings. And Godwin is playing against the Broncos.
Ooh.
Who's Nico playing?
Nico's playing the Vikings. We got Godwin against the Broncos.
Don't the Broncos have a really stud corner?
They got one stud corner, right?
So that would probably he'd be on Mike Evans.
Oh man.
He'd be on God.
I'm probably taking Drew Baker, Stroud. Houston's going to air it out. Houston airs it out all the time. I'm taking Nico, I think.
Yeah,
it's close.
I think I side with Nico too. That Bears defense did nothing for me. I'm going to be real honest with you. It didn't do anything for me. I think when you face a buzzsaw offense like they're going to face in Houston this week, they're going to get. I think they're playing the Bears, right? Am I correct? Are they playing the Vikings? I thought they were playing the Bears on Sunday night. Are they not?
No, Vikings are playing. I'm just going to pull up the schedule.
I thought
Am I wrong?
Texans were playing the Bears. I'm almost positive.
Oh, they are. You're right, because it's Taylor versus CJ.
Yeah,
yes,
so
you're right.
Yeah, so I think if they're playing the Bears, I'm not concerned about anyone on the Bears. I think that's going to be a Houston shows their might kind of game, right?
And I think with Nico too, Diggs getting the touchdown last week.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, with Diggs getting the touchdown last week, and out of the three receivers, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Stephon Diggs, Nico still saw the majority of the targets, even though they were mostly lumped together and kind of square. With the volume, it's going to be his turn to find the end zone. He's going to be juiced up. Steph's going to have to play his game. I think Nico's due to have a bigger week this week than Stephon. And it's kind of going to go like that. We've talked about it with Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. We've talked about it with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. We've talked about it with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Just kind of how it goes. And also, when someone's coming in hot, the defense is like, okay, cool. It's Stephon Diggs. We're going to pressure up on Stephon Diggs. It opens up a lot for those secondary stud wide receivers. And it's like a Waddle Tyreek type situation. It's just kind of with the flow of the game. I think Nico's going to turn up, and I think Tank's going to have a couple deep bombs this week as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's fucking. You want to hop into the college slate real quick?
Let me find it because I got my pretty new displays. First up, we got Arizona versus Kansas State. Arizona's plus 209 and Kansas State is minus 258. Gentlemen, what are we thinking?
All right, so let's kind of we'll breeze. We want to get to this one first because it is tonight, and one of the few like ranked versus ranked matchups. Bri, what side do you like more? You like the Kansas State offense more, or you like the Arizona offense more?
I mean, it's really, do you like running the ball or do you like passing the ball? So Kansas State's averaging just over 7 yards per carry. Arizona can throw it all over the place, and McMillan's maybe one of the best receivers in the nation. I like the over here. So 60.5. That's what I'm putting money on tonight is 60.5 over. If I were to pick a side, I'd probably take Arizona and take the points.
Yeah, I don't know how many points they're getting. I do like that call. I like the Arizona points. What I will say is when you're looking at Kansas State, maybe a side to kind of Who's the quarterback in Kansas State? Who am I missing? What's his name? Kid with the long hair, right?
Yeah, Avery. Shit. What's his last name? His first name's Avery.
Might be Johnson. I'm not sure.
Is it Avery Johnson?
It might be fucking Johnson.
That's a basketball player.
Yeah, it's Johnson. I think
Avery
you're going to it's very obvious that Kansas State has taken a step back. Like, they're missing Colin Klein, or who's their offensive coordinator went away to a bigger and better opportunity, but they're clearly missing that fucking I feel like that punch that they had last year. They're also without Will Howard this year. He went to Ohio State and all that good stuff. But what you will notice is they're kind of a high flying offense. I like the Avery Johnson. I believe the over is like 240 at this point. I like this game to kind of be close, and I like Kansas State to be throwing the ball a little bit. So I like that Avery Johnson over 247.5.
Yeah, we got these on DraftKings too. They have those weird lines. Good.
Interesting stat about this game. Last week, Kansas State played Tulane, and Tulane threw for 342 yards against Kansas State. Just absolutely aired the ball out. And when you look at the types of passes, it was like 17, 25, 40, 35, 40. They were just bombing them. And that doesn't really translate well when you have a throwing team like Arizona, who's probably one of the better throwing teams in the nation, and you have maybe one of the best wide receivers in the nation as well. Can they contain him? We don't know. And then you look at Kansas State; they run the ball. Like I said, over 7 yards a carry. Arizona so far this year is 87th in the nation in rush defense. So I think this game goes over, and if I were to place a bet on a side, I would take Arizona +7.
All right, I like it. Rock, you want to pop up this question?
Yes. So from Kyle Singer, who is very nice to be patient with us, also subbed and liked. Appreciate it, brother. Kyle Singer says, Jordan Mason, Jerome Ford, Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams, pick 3 is my second RB and my flex. Okay, for his RB and his flex, I also have Godwin and Devonta Smith going as wide receiver. Okay, so you got Godwin and Devonta Smith as wide receiver, and then your second RB and your flex is who we're looking for, and then we'll pick 3 for you. I think Mason obviously off rip.
Yeah, it's Mason, probably Kyron,
and Etienne.
And I'd stay off. Yeah, I'd stay off the Browns right now until they figure out what the fuck. But if it's just 2 running backs, looks like he's saying it's 2. It's Mason and Kyron this week. Kyron's got the best matchup, I think, in fucking just
going against the Cardinals
right now. The Cardinals cannot stop anything. Like, they just can't. So layer up on the Rams this week. I'm serious. Layer up on them. You got to fucking have any type of Ram that you can put in your lineup, put it in the lineup. It's going to be a high scoring game for the Rams. Yeah.
And on top of it, with having Godwin and Devonta, they're going to have some good weeks this week, but 2 strongest definitely with Mason having that unbelievable CMC level workload. You're basically getting dollar store CMC, and then Kyron's, he's going to eat. So if you lock in that lineup and then whoever you got at QB, you should have a good ass week. Appreciate the question, guys. Any questions you want, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok, let them keep coming. We're going to go between like our picks, and then as we transition to each different game, we'll answer them in between. Next matchup.
Over 270.5 for Noah Fifita. What do you think about that one? I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think this is going to be a shootout. I think Kansas State secondary is not very good. So I think they're going to be throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm hitting that. I just hit it. Okay. Dope. Hit us with the second game.
Yes, sir. All right. So the second game, I don't have these in order. So I'm on 23. So let me go 24 here. Let me drop that down. This was Alabama versus Wisconsin. Alabama's favored by 746. Wisconsin's plus 516.
And Bry, yeah, go ahead, Bry. Go ahead. Sorry.
So Bama's a 15 15.5 favorite. Wisconsin is, I think they have an identity crisis. They want to run an air raid offense, but they don't have the receivers to do it. And having an identity crisis against Alabama is not something you want to do. Now, Bama struggled last week against South Florida, and I mean, that could have possibly been an upset, but I think they go into Wisconsin, they cover the 15.5. That's one of my plays this week. I just don't see Wisconsin being able to score enough points. And for the first half of the game, Wisconsin's best defensive player is suspended for targeting from last game. So I'm going Bama minus 15.5. I think they win by 3 scores.
Yeah, I agree with Brian here. This is going to be a rough game for Wisconsin. I think we're entering into a new Alabama era. You're going to see DeBoer, the new head coach, kind of go from like a previously like really stout Nick Saban defense to what is going to be in the future, especially with that NIL money they got in Alabama, is going to be a catastrophic offense. This is going to be just the beginning to that. I like Milroe to kind of go fucking crazy here. I don't think Wisconsin has any type of fight for the Crimson Tide.
It might very well be similar to the Wisconsin-Texas game, where Wisconsin's just trying to figure out how to generate offense and just can't stop the offense of Alabama. I think last week was, I think that was a mirage. I don't think that's what Alabama is. I expect them to bounce back big.
Cool. So on to the next one.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. So next slate will be LSU versus South Carolina, one of the only games I have passive information on, because it's the only team I really follow. So, get ready for it. It's going to be the nationally televised game of the week. First time in South Carolina in 10 to 15 years. So, yeah. What do you guys think?
So when I look at this game, it's I'm actually really interested in the South Carolina side on this game, which is not something I thought I would be saying coming into this season. I kind of expected LSU to abandon that RPO offense for just an air raid, heavy throwing fucking LSU type offense. Like, I don't know what's happening. LSU can't run the fucking ball. Brian Kelly is looks like a Muppet when he's upset, and just was like pounding his fist and shit like that. And I don't know, man. I don't like optically LSU at all. Like, I don't like them in any sort of capacity, minus liking Nussmeier. I think that kid's incredible. The one thing I will say is South Carolina loves to play a zone defense, and Nussmeier is terrible against the zone defense, completing just under 40% of his passes in his zone defense. It's not because he's not a good quarterback. It's just because he doesn't like to take underneath throws. When you play a zone defense, you got to be okay with dinking and diving down the field a little bit. You got to just dink and dive. That's all you got to do. And then it'll open up over the top and you'll be fine. I don't know if LSU has the fucking capability to slow the fuck down. You've seen this spread. I think it opened at like maybe 7. Was it 7.5? It opened. It's already down to 6. So I don't like it whatsoever. The only thing that I have is South Carolina teased up with another game.
I took this one off the board. I scratched it because it's supposed to be like torrential downpour tomorrow. So LSU last week lost their starting running back, John Emery, to ACL. They already were going to be struggling rushing the ball. South Carolina struggles rushing the ball. But the good thing about South Carolina, and to your point, South Carolina has a really good defense. They rank number 1 in quarterback pressure so far this year. LSU, however, is ranked 6th in allowed pressure. So it's strength versus strength that will be happening when LSU has the ball. with the rain, with the lack of running game, it's going to come down to two quarterbacks, two young quarterbacks. And man, do I trust Sellers to win the game? I don't know. Do I trust Nussmeier to go ahead and win the game? I don't know. I took it off my card just because of the way the weather was, and when I started looking at the ground attacks, it just didn't look very favorable. So I would be assuming that you would be betting, if you're betting on this game, you're betting on quarterback play and hoping that a lucky turnover or tip ball doesn't ruin your afternoon. So it is off my board, but if I were to bet it, I'd probably take South Carolina minus or +6.
Yeah, I like that side. And also, if you're betting on this game, I would look at that total, because if we're looking at torrential downpour for strength for LSU, it's throwing the ball. And if they don't have a starting running back, I don't like that optically. So if I'm expecting that game to be close, I think I take it under 48.5. I'm sure that total fucking got pounded down.
Yeah, it's minus 108 right now.
What it come down? Yeah, so it opened
It's
at 52. It's already 48.5. So be careful, obviously. But yeah, this is one you got to take off the dance card.
Cool. All right, we got a question from George Playo1. He said, should I trade Brian Robinson Jr. and Waddle for Collins and Jaden Reed, non-PPR? So Robinson's kind of the number one back in a new, younger offense with a terrible defense, and Waddle, who just lost, obviously, to Tagovailoa, for Nico Collins and Jaden Reed. So I'm assuming the person that's trading Collins and Reed badly needs a running back, because that's kind of a lot to pay Nico Collins for anything with Robinson, and then hoping for some upside return with getting Waddle in return. What do you think, then?
Yeah, I think you gotta, yes. If somebody's offering you this fucking trade, you gotta take it immediately. I am not high on the Washington fucking C-words fucking offense at all. I don't want any part of the Dolphins wide receivers right now with Tua going out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want Nico Collins and I want Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed fucking, I mean, he's the obvious number one fucking wide receiver over there. And from what I hear, Green Bay's a little bit, their timeline got a little bit fucking, I feel like it turned up a little bit. It doesn't look like Jordan Love's going to be out for as long as we thought he was going to be out for. So you might not start him this week because he's got Malik Willis, who can't fucking throw the ball at all.
But it's an invest trade, though.
But it is an invest trade, and like I really love access to Nico Collins and fucking Houston. Like, that's gonna be one of the top offenses in the league, bar none. You gotta fucking get players that are on offensively talented teams, especially when you're trying to generate points, and especially if it's a non-PPR. I think Collins and Reed are going to score more touchdowns than Brian Robinson and Waddle. So if he's fucking offering that, run that shit.
Yeah. So he's saying he has CMC, Kenneth Walker, and Zach Moss. Zach Moss is all right, but CMC and Kenneth are definitely hurt. And then he says, I have Barkley, Gibbs, Mason, Javonte, Trey Benson, Corum, and Irving. So if you have Barkley and Gibbs, yeah, you're all over that. You're pretty decent at wide receiver too. I'd lock that in. I got a couple more here, boys, and then we'll get to the next game. Skeeter says half PPR, start Jaden Reed, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Greg Dortch. I love Wan'Dale as a Giants fan. Never start a Giants wide receiver.
Right, hit us. What do you think?
Well, to your point, I mean, Reed's not going to have a quarterback to throw him the ball. But I mean, he's got the most upside of all three of them, right?
Yeah, I'd say he's good.
I'd probably start Reed and just hope that Green Bay can figure it out.
Okay, I'm gonna zig a little bit. It's Dortch all fucking day. I told you guys about Dortch. Listen, I don't give a fuck what you have to say about it. Okay, I watched the Cardinals and the Bills play. Okay, and I watched the Bills play what I think is a better offensive team than the Cardinals I think the Miami Dolphins should be better than the Cardinals. I think we can all agree with that, right? Dortch fucking burned
right
the
now.
Bills. No, not right now, but prior to to Tua almost dying, like you would say you expect Miami to be better than fucking Arizona, correct?
Yeah.
Arizona's better right now. I think Dortch is the clear start between these three guys. It's Dortch.
Okay. Fair enough. I would say let's go Wandale. So you get no help from that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I think
Danny Dime Store loves playing against the Commanders. All right, he loves playing against the Washington Camel Toes. Danny Dime Store is coming for the Camels' asses this week, buddy. He's coming,
guys. I fucking hate him so much. I hate him so much. All right, we're gonna take like 3 more, and then we're gonna go to the next game, and then we'll get back to more of the questions. Cameron says, "Yo, guys, have time for fantasy related? Am I the asshole question? I'm the commissioner of a work league and in for a bit of a situation, looking for some fantasy etiquette advice. Please send this in to us.
I can't wait.
Please, I'm
in like 2 work leagues, and it's been fucking hilarious. I basically made a guy cry today because I beat him so badly. It was fucking fantastic. I love it.
And then
fantastic.
Rapid fire through these. Jonathan Santiago says trade Adams, so Devontae Adams and Christian Watson for St. Brown.
Yes.
I think that's a fucking layup because Christian Washington is not going to do anything at all. So you might as well just give him a pack of Newports at that point. And then Devontae Adams hates where he is. He might get traded. So there's a little bit of possible value there, but he's not going to fit with Gardner Minshew. And I think that's kind of like, Brian, what do you think about Adams this season? Like overall, even outside of fantasy?
I mean, I still think he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah, me too.
Do you not agree?
I agree with that. I feel like all of the best wide receivers in the league are struggling right now. You got Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill now, Justin Jefferson with Sam Darnold.
Half of them aren't playing because they want deals.
You know, the only one, and he's even CD's in that ballpark, right? Or he got paid?
No, he got paid. He's good. Dallas is set.
CD's the only locked in one.
Yeah, but okay, here's the only thing that I worry about this Johnny Santiago. What a fucking name, by the way. I feel like if my name was Johnny Santiago, I would get laid all the time. Listen, the only thing I worry about trading Adams right now is you're trading really fucking low on Adams right now, and I think he has the possibility to go to a different team. Rocky was telling us last week that if we watch the receiver documentary on Netflix or whatever the fuck, it's just all Devontae Adams going, what the fuck? God fucking damn. And I get it. Like, I get it. This kid is one of the best. We forget that 3 years ago when he was in Green Bay, like, he was the guy. Like, everybody wanted Devontae Adams. So I really think selling low on him right now, maybe not the idea. I do think he escapes Las Vegas and he fucking gets to a good fucking team.
I guess the answer to this question, the answer to this question is how deep your team is currently, right? So does St. Brown fix an immediate need that you have to fill early in the season? Or can you wait a little bit and maybe hold on to Adams to recoup some value?
That's what I like.
His team's but
yeah, fucking Johnny Santiago over here. God, that's a great name, buddy. That's good shit. I might steal that for a movie. Also, I started A-Chain. I have Mason. Pick one to flex between Ayuk, Devonta, and Charbonnet if Walker sits. Have Hurts for my quarterback. Great quarterback situation. Bry, give me one between Ayuk, Devonta, or Charbonnet.
I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm a little biased. You also get to link up Hurts and Devontae, so double the points. That's who I would pick. I think that Devontae and Brown are essentially 1A and 1B. I don't think there's a primary receiver there, so they're both going to get their touches. I would assume Smith gets at least 6 to 8 targets a week, and a couple of those targets are going to be pretty explosive. So I like Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I do too. I've always been a fan of his in the first place. And then, so I think your team's pretty solid. Achan obviously loved the production last night, despite what happened. In my opinion, real quick, just to wrap up on the Santiago, the situation, I, without a doubt in my mind, would probably trade Adams and Christian Watson. Christian Watson is droppable, in my opinion. I don't even like the fucking dude. But in the first place, you're trading for the younger wide receiver with the better quarterback on a down week, too.
Yeah,
so I feel like if he blows up next week, you might not even get a chance to trade for Amon-Ra. If Amon-Ra drops, because also he's going to come back angry, they're not going to make a consistent thing with Amon-Ra not scoring. So they're going to get him the ball. I think you trade for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wide receivers are Wilson's, Adams, Ayuk, and Worthy. So if you get rid of Adams, you'd have Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is a higher pick than Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, and Worthy. Make the trade, and your team's going to be lit, and you might get a championship under your belt real quick.
That's pretty solid.
Brunson says, start Zay Flowers or Brian Robinson Jr. at the flex. Who's Baltimore playing this week? Let me check.
Zay Flowers is Danny's boy.
That's my favorite goddamn wide receiver ever. Love him. Cocksucking motherfucker.
Yeah, I'd probably go Zay here. And then
I was thinking about this real quick. I think that I have been burned betting on that motherfucker like 6 times now. I was fucking running that back in my mind. It's been like I've tipped him like 4 or 5 times. Rock, I really think going into last season when we're fucking tipping picks, I think every time we bet him, he lost.
And then we stopped betting him.
Yeah, and then we stopped betting him, and then I fucking forgot like a cocksucker and did it again. All right, Skeet, you know what? I like your style. Thank you for agreeing with me. He's going Greg Dortch because Greg Dortch is the truth, and at least Skeet gets me here. All right?
All right, so guys, real quick, so I want to let you guys know we are sponsored by a platform called SoBet. If you're into sports betting, they only sign content creators to their platform that are the only ones allowed to put out picks. If they know that you're a profitable sports bettor, you show them what you've done, they will sign you to post on their platform. The exclusive link for us is in the description. So if you want to join, not only will you get to tail our exclusive picks, the ones that we don't give away for free on YouTube or TikTok, you also get to tail every other signed content creator's picks on that platform. And the picks I'm giving out this week are going to be some anytime touchdowns for players that teams are going to want to get activated. They're going to want to get them involved because they had down weeks last week. I'm going to give out one of the free picks. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. had a down week. I am taking him to get an anytime touchdown. Call me crazy, whatever the case may be. They're not going to want to let him, 1, lose that confidence level, and 2, have 2 consecutive bad weeks. I promise you he's going to get an anytime touchdown, and you can clip this. I'm going to throw it on TikTok. That's one of my picks.
Did you watch him play that? All right, yeah. Cool. You know what? Actually, let's not listen to Rocky at all on that, and let's go Greg Dortch to get an anytime touchdown because Dortch is getting in the goddamn end zone. Listen,
Dan, remember last season? No, time out.
Whoa.
I want to make one point. Remember last season when you had your Gabe Davis over 100 and whatever yards pick last year? This is my Gabe Davis pick of this year. Okay, you had one that was a little out there. This is the one I'm picking. Because if he drops 22 fantasy points, everyone's like, I love fucking Marvin Harrison Jr.
Let me implore you to understand what you're talking about. Okay. Last season, I came in here headstrong, and you looked at me like I was crazy because the motherfucker caught like 2 passes the prior 6 weeks, right? Correct?
Yep. Yes.
That's correct. Right. Okay. Yes, so I come in, and on the first play of the game, first catch of the game, he goes 90 yards and a touchdown. Are you saying that first catch, Marvin Harrison is going into the end zone? Is that what you're saying right now?
Hey, Brian, lock in on me right now. Okay.
Does
that sound? No. Does that sound like what the fuck I just said? I said he's going to get a touchdown. That sounds like what you just said. First play of the game, he's going to go 95 yards for touchdown. Said he's going to score a touchdown. Little red zone slant. I can bring it in. He's Marvin Harrison Jr. played college ball
I
back
do
in
have
my
some
day.
concerns about Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh my god!
Just from some of the stuff I read, it sounded like his top speed was not very good. It was like 16 and a half miles per hour, which is actually really slow. He didn't run the 40 at the combine. Why? We don't know. Was it to protect the fact that maybe he's not as fast as everyone thinks he is? I mean, he's a physical freak. Was he just tentative his first game? We don't know, but I'm kind of not on the Marvin Harrison bandwagon until he actually shows something.
Goddamn right. You have to prove that you can fucking do it, like Greg Dortch did. I might get a Dortch jersey. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might get a fucking. I might like Greg Dortch. I might be a Cardinals fan. Now that I think about it, boys, I might start liking the Cardinals. I don't know what's going on, but Greg is the fucking truth.
Yeah, we'll Trey McBride over all of them anyway. Fuck you guys. Well, it's my pick, and listen, I'm either gonna come in here after the weekend and be like, guys, I guess I'm just fucking shot, or I'm gonna come in with it swinging down to my knees and be like,
that's what you're gonna do.
Yes, and I'm gonna say yes, and you're gonna be like,
no
Rocky
words.
Prop, I'm sorry, I know the odds are plus 1,200, and that's why you're betting on it. What do you think about that? It's plus 1,200 for an anytime touchdown.
Listen, I'm not saying it's impossible, but what I'm saying is Greg Dortch is going to catch that touchdown that you think fucking Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to catch.
Think they're only getting one touchdown?
Upset. No, I think
only getting one touchdown.
I think Dortch is going to have 2 touchdowns, if you ask me. And I think McBride and Connor will have another couple touchdowns. Now,
name the rest of your fantasy roster now.
Listen, Skeet, he's worried. All right, Drake London, he's asked. He's like, shut the fuck.
Greg Dortch is gonna steal all the Drake London targets. Fucking, he's gonna fucking take his spot, Greg Dortch.
Listen, if Greg Dortch was in Buffalo, I mean, come on, that might be the best.
We're talking about Atlanta. We're talking about Atlanta. Okay.
All right, so talk to me about Atlanta, because what we look at right now optically with Atlanta is that Kirk Cousins is 97 years old and can't move anymore. Brian, what do you think?
I mean, they're gonna play Philly on Monday night, right? So Quinyon Mitchell looked good as a rookie on the one side. Slay is Slay, right? He's old, but he did fairly well on the other side. I think the Eagles secondary is fairly good. I mean, safeties have trouble, but I feel like if they play more man, the Eagles can lock down Atlanta. So yeah, I have worries about Drake London too. Skeet.
Just Drake London just got to go out there and fucking. He's just got to go out there and just like be a fucking man, like whatever the fuck. Kirk can get it somewhere near you. No, I'm serious, dude. Where's the swagger out of fucking Drake London? Everyone's always hyping him up every year, like he's this amazing wide receiver. He's 6'5". He's 6'5". Catch a fucking ball. 7-8 targets. Can't bring in more than 3. You fucking serious? What's so fucking funny today?
I'm just glad you got a little fire. I'm glad you're fucking actually swinging today instead of being like, oh god, I really like everybody. Listen, here's the deal. I would be concerned about this Atlanta offense, okay? Especially going into a week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, listen, I do think there were some points to be scored left on the table by the Green Bay Packers offense. So maybe this is kind of a rhythm game. Maybe they can get like some garbage time stuff. I do not expect this game to be close whatsoever. That fucking offense that fucking Philly's trotting out is disgusting. It's like you fucking did a bunch of creative players and put them all on one fucking team, and they're just going to fucking murk every defense they face.
Can you imagine if they somehow improved from Dallas Goedert to like an absolute stud? Like they would be unstoppable.
I think Goddard's a serviceable tight end, though.
I think serviceable, but I'm saying like, what if they had like a fucking George Kittle or a Dalton Kincaid or like a fucking Mark Andrews, like prime market? They'd be unstoppable.
Goddard is an anytime touchdown candidate this week. especially after last week with the Falcons giving up 2 touchdowns to Evan Ingram. So I'm looking at Goddard this week, potentially getting an anytime touchdown. I'm sure the odds are pretty good on it.
That's a great pick, actually. But you know who's going to steal that touchdown? It's Greg Dortch.
Hey, listen, Greg Dortch is definitely going to catch. And again, we'll pop this up from Skeet because he's got the right idea. Yeah, Greg Dortch is catching that touchdown.
Because he just put him into his lineup after following the bearded magician over here.
Listen, when he scores 26 points, you're going to be like, wow, Dan knows what he's talking about. And I backed Marvin Harrison Jr., and I might be a half of a fucking moron a little bit. You might say that next week. You might feel that way, and that's okay. Listen, the one thing I want to point out is we talked a bunch about the Falcons, and all you motherfuckers that are like Bijan this and Bijan that, I didn't hear you mention Bijan fucking once. Just want to throw that one out there.
Dan's training these 3-pointers right now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. All right, give me something. We covered Georgia, Kentucky. What is that? Wait. Georgia's minus 2,703. Is that correct? The fuck is this?
Where did you pull that fucking line from?
CBS Sports.
They're minus 2,703.
Hold on.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Georgia versus Kentucky football odds. CBS. I'm gonna verify this. Start breaking it down. I'm gonna verify if this is true.
All right.
So Georgia's like a 22-point favorite in this game. Kentucky looked like absolute dog shit last week against South Carolina. They only scored 3 points. Georgia hasn't allowed a touchdown all year, and they played Clemson and another shithouse team. The bet I really like, and this might be a wild card, I like Kentucky team total under 10.5. I don't think Kentucky's going to be able to score on Georgia. And I don't think their first team's going to score. I don't think their second team or third team is going to score.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a really good play here. I would say if you want to get a little froggy, all right, under 6.5 is plus 240. What do you think about that one, Bri? What do you think about under 6.5?
No. I mean, you're basically saying they can't get like a garbage touchdown ruins your bet, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's at home.
It's at
night. It's in Lexington.
Do they have a home field advantage though? Because they're not playing basketball. Like they're playing fucking football. All right. Like I don't think Kentucky has a home field advantage.
I feel like what I don't know what it's called now. Kroger Field, Papa John. No, that's Louisville. Kroger Field gets a little rowdy. I feel like Kentucky gets pretty loud. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't say it's a Tennessee home field advantage, but Kentucky can bring it a little bit.
If I'm gonna play this, I want to I will tell that under 10.5. I think that's probably the way to go here. That Georgia defense is always gonna be stout. They're always gonna be good. No matter what they do, they're always gonna be a stout fucking defense. So, I don't know. I would do like a little ladder situation though. Let's go under 6.5, under 8.5, under 9.5. You're getting plus numbers at all of those fucking numbers, and I don't think they score more than 7 points.
And if you're concerned that Georgia's star cornerback got busted for another driving incident, I think today or yesterday, he's not going to play. Is Harris the cornerback? It doesn't matter because Kentucky can't throw the ball. So it doesn't matter if the entire secondary is suspended, Kentucky can't throw. So just keep that in mind. Also, Kentucky's quarterback used to be at Georgia. He transferred to Kentucky. So Kirby Smart knows how to stop him. So yes, under 10.5 team total.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna do a ladder situation. We got on TikTok again there, Rock. So Just so you're aware.
I think after a certain amount of time, they like kick us anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. We got booted though. We got fucking booted. But yeah, so
I might be the
like that
swearing.
breakdown, though.
All right.
Well,
All
what
right.
are you
Now
gonna
that we
do?
go up the stripskis out. Cool. So then there's our props to bet on for college football. Am I missing any games? I think there was one you sent me, Dan, that I just with the acronyms you gave me, I was like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Let me see. I don't think.
The one you texted me, the top one, KSU, but I thought that was Kansas State University.
That's Kansas State. No. That was. I think
sent
we
it
just
twice.
had the games.
Kenshaw?
I think we just had the game wrong because BC is playing. Who's BC?
Missouri.
Playing? They're playing Missouri. That was the.
Okay.
That was my fault. If you want to pull up the odds for that game too, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I'll do that. While I do that real quick, I want you guys to give me, by the way, guys, final time for questions. You have any start switch questions? I need an anytime touchdown sleeper from both of you. You said Dallas got it already, Bryce, so you have to go with somebody else as well.
You could go with one of these two.
No, just anyone, but also like probably someone who like a sleeper as in like someone who maybe didn't score last week, who's not projected, who has decent odds, like
like a Greg Dortch, if you're thinking about someone.
Yeah.
Kansas is up.
What about a Danny Dimes rushing touchdown?
Oh,
that's a nice one.
I like that.
I feel like the Giants have to score, right?
They have to. What game looking up, by the way?
You are looking up the Boston College Missouri game. I'm gonna give you. All right, I'm gonna give you. Let me get an anytime touchdown from Lad McConkey, plus 260.
Boy, and I'm gonna go with Zach Moss. Well, he scored last week. I'm gonna go Travis Kelce.
Oh God. What a horrible.
All right.
He's got Kelce and Marvin Harrison Jr.
what a dance card this kid's got this week. Good Lord.
Yeah, and that dance card, I'm gonna come back, but just wait till I hit the group chat and I'm like, smack.
Yo, if you smack that, I'll shave my fucking beard off. I will. I'll shave it off. Put it in a fucking parlay. If you smack that, I'll shave the beard. Anyway.
All right, if I get a Travis Kelce, Marvin Harrison Jr. anytime touchdown, you'll shave your beard.
You got to do the parlay. I want to see the parlay.
I will put it in immediately when I get my phone back from using my camera. I'll switch cameras right now. Put it in right now.
Cool. So do it after.
No,
all right,
we
shook hands.
Okay.
Anyways. All right. So I think we can all be in agreement here, minus Rocky, who doesn't watch any real fun sports at all.
I watch Missouri.
He just watches the NBA regular season like a fucking psycho. Like I've never seen anyone watch the fucking regular season at all of the NBA. But I think we could both agree, Brian. Rocky, you could just kind of sit there and be pretty for this one because you don't know college sports. That's okay. That's all right. You're gonna learn something real quick. Thank you. That's much better actually. Now, we're kind of like. No, I'm just kidding. I think we could both be pretty impressed with Bill O'Brien and the work he's done at Boston College so quickly. Are they live? They're not. Are they live for a cover?
I don't think they are.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing with Boston College. So Boston College obviously shut down Florida State. They shut out Duquesne last week. And now they go to Missouri, who has an explosive-ass offense. And I think it's just a bad spot for them. They gave up almost 300 yards to DJU when they played Florida State in the air. Missouri's a throw-the-ball kind of team, and I don't think they cover this game. I also think that Boston College is probably going to try to, very similarly to what they did with Florida State, run the ball, and try to make this game short. So I'm looking at the under in this game as well. So the under 53.5 and minus 14.5. I might even buy the half point so I don't get hooked at the end. But yeah, that's kind of the way I see this game. I don't think Boston College has the ability to. I don't think they have the secondary to keep up with Missouri this week. I don't think this is an upset alert. There are some upset alerts definitely on the schedule, but I don't think this is one of them.
Yeah, I like where your head's at with that one. The one thing I will say is I think a Boston College under 10.5 points is live here. I do think Missouri is a really strong fucking team. I think they've blossomed into a top. I know it's like Georgia all the way the fuck up here by themselves. I think Texas is right below that. And I think Alabama's like almost neck and neck with Texas at this moment. I do favor Texas a little bit like head to head. But after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. And I think you could say that Missouri is up there. I really do. I think the defense is really good. You're getting a plus 210 on that under 10.5. So you could probably take that all the way up to like 13.5 if you really wanted to. Still get a good number at 13.5. It's plus 200. Take it all the way up to fucking 16.5. You're still getting plus 125 on that. I really like that line. I would do another ladder situation. I'm going to go from under 10.5 all the way to under 16.5, I think.
Missouri has given up 0 points this year. So in 2 games. So take that as you will. But I think the luck runs out for BC this week. A couple of upsets that aren't on my card that are possible. How do you feel like Tulane's going to do against Oklahoma? And how about your Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
All right, listen. I wasn't going to talk about this. I got the Brady Quinn 10 behind me. I've obviously been a Notre Dame fan for a long fucking time. I fully expected them to beat the ever-loving shit out of Northern Illinois. I do realize that Northern Illinois maybe has like 32 seniors or some shit like that. Like they have a team full of seniors basically. I did not like optically I do not like Riley Leonard right now. So I think we're beaten and battered. I think we're live to get upset at any point in time right now. If we lose again, I think that we could call that kind of Kaputski for the college playoff in my opinion. What was the other game that you asked about?
Oklahoma versus Tulane. I think that Tulane could potentially upset Oklahoma this week. I don't have it on my card, but it's something interesting to look at if you're looking at picking a straight up underdog.
Yeah, I think you got to look at Tulane at every spot. I think they should have won last week against Kansas State. It just kind of, didn't really shake out their way. But Tulane is the best group of 5 team, right? Like they're the best group of 5, I think. Sorry, outside of the Power 4 or whatever the fuck conferences, I think they're the top of the line team.
I feel like Memphis
is also pretty good. Yes.
I'm not sure about Boise, but I mean Boise's running back's fucking incredible.
Jesus Christ, that kid can fucking run, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know who comes out of the group of 5 and goes to the playoffs, but yeah, I mean Tulane definitely has a seat at the table. I feel like Tulane could potentially upset Oklahoma this week. Looks like we have a question. Florida State versus Memphis. What are we feeling?
If we're going to be really honest, I'm not feeling good at all about Florida State. I think to lose back to back the way they did in the fashion they lost to Boston College, that was really deflating. DJU, again, we talked about him prior to the start of the season. Brian and I both agreed that he's not the guy that you want to pay $1.5 million to play quarterback for you. And I think Memphis is fucking live. We just talked about them as top 3 outside of the Power 4. Memphis is live as fuck in this game. What is the line on this game? Rock, try to pull that up real quick. If I would assume that it's like what 6.5, maybe 3.5. I don't know. I didn't look at it.
I think it's
6.5.
Yeah, 6.5.
Okay, so if it's 6.5, I think I gotta back Memphis at that number. I don't like anything I've seen from Florida State. What do you think, Bri?
I mean, I have this gut feeling that Florida State's going to figure it out. There's just so much talent on the team that eventually one week they're just going to explode, right, for like 35, 40 points. But obviously history of the first 2 weeks have not shown that. Yeah, I mean, Memphis beat North Alabama by 40. They beat Troy by 21. I'm looking at some of their advanced stats here. Yeah, I mean, the real question is, can Memphis? What I really liked what Boston College was able to do, they were able to shut down Florida State's running game, and they were able to make the game as basically they made it a game where Florida State had to score every single possession because they weren't going to get the ball that many times in the second half. Can Memphis do that? I think they can. I don't know. This is almost like a must-win for Florida State. If I were to guess who wins the game, I'm going to guess Florida State on a limb, but I wouldn't put any money on it, not until they prove to me that they can competently play. So, yeah, Florida State could be on upset alert for sure.
Let me ask you a question though. You said you expect them to come through at some point just because of the talent level. You expect them to explode for points, right? Correct?
At some point during this year.
Is Memphis live for that then? Or is that what you're saying? You think Memphis could be live for them to score a lot of points?
No, I'm not necessarily saying that Memphis is that team, but I mean, it just feels like at any given point, there's too much talent on that team not to, right?
Yeah, I mean, how much money are they fucking spending on that goddamn team, dude? Like, at a certain point in time, like when you got a budget that a salary cap, let's call it salary cap right now, that rivals NFL teams, like at a certain point, you have to deliver something, right?
Yeah. I mean, Norvell has to figure it out, and if he doesn't, he's gone. So if he comes out of the gate and loses to Georgia Tech, Boston College, and Memphis 3 weeks in a row to start the season,
oh God,
they might fire him on the field. Right?
Listen, if you lose, but you know what? It is completely acceptable to me that if you lose those first 3 games, the way you've lost those first 3 games, like I get it. If you have a big win like Notre Dame did against Texas A&M, and then you come out the next week after that big fucking win and lay a fucking egg, like I get that shit. But to get completely controlled by Boston College, which has like a third of the talent, maybe a fucking like a quarter of the talent that you have, to lose that fucking viciously to Boston College is not that's not good optically at all. Like recruit likes to see that.
If you look at the way that both Boston College and Georgia Tech won the game, they made the game really short. So they had really long possessions. I think Florida State only had like 8 possessions in the Georgia Tech game. Hell, Boston College possessed the ball for I think like the first 9 or 10 minutes of the first quarter of the game last week. So the blueprint is out on how to beat Florida State. It's to control the ball. Now Memphis ran for like I think just under 250 yards last week against Troy. So yeah, they can possess the ball. If they can essentially utilize the same game plan that Boston College and Georgia Tech did, I think Memphis can definitely upset them. But I mean, I'm not going to put money on it, but I think it's live.
Yeah, so Sheesh the God says, so I have Florida State money line on my last leg and my 4 leg. You think I should just cash out? I'm going to say no on that. I don't think you should cash out. Bry's right. They have a lot of talent. One of these weeks, they're going to get it the fuck together. And looking at Memphis's last 2, they haven't played any really talented teams. They've done their jobs and beaten the fucking lesser talented teams. But I do fucking think you got to be a little concerned, right? Like, you got to be a little concerned.
Well, the caveat to that is, well, how much are we cashing out, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming he hit his first 3 legs on his parlay. So, I mean, it should be pretty good money depending on what the odds were on those first 3. So give us a little bit more information on that, and we'll give you some more advice on whether you should cash out or not. But I think that's a dicey game for both teams. If I'm Memphis, I don't want to play a pissed off Florida State. And if I'm Florida State, I don't think I want to play anyone right now.
And if I'm a bettor, which I am, I don't want any part of this game. I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't want any. I want to see what we're looking at first prior to making a move on this game. If you already have a fucking parlay and you've hit the first 3 legs, I would seriously look to either hedge or, depending on the cash out option, I would really look into that cash out option. But Preston's got a question for Rocky, specifically for Rocky. It looks like he wants Rocky to answer this question specifically because Rocky doesn't know college sports. Like Preston pointed out just a second ago in his comment, who would be a good trade target for CMC?
Well, Preston, you came to the right place because what I do know is the NFL. And also, by the way, shout out to all 110 people watching on Twitter and everyone on the YouTube and the TikTok, the Discord chat. Anyway, who would be a good trade target for CMC? There's a lot of ways you can look at it. A lot of people are talking about Tyreek Hill right now, and a lot of people are trying to trade into CMC with Tyreek Hill. I think that's a little bit of a panic go. It's either going to be, you're not going to be able to get someone like CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to be able to get someone like, I think it's even tough to look at someone like Justin Jefferson at this point. I think what you could do is you could put a package together for some solid pieces. Names that come to mind. Oh, it's a tough one. Maybe like Devontae Adams and someone else, or what would you say?
What?
Would you trade McCaffrey for AJ Brown?
If I had AJ Brown, would I make that trade? Is the question. It is a noted offense with AJ. I think it's
close, right?
Yeah, it's close.
It is, but the fucked up thing about not knowing the McCaffrey timeline is it's like it's close, but by the time that McCaffrey comes back, am I going to be fucked for the season? And also, what's my wide receiver depth? Because also a lot of these wide receivers are losing. Their quarterbacks are losing.
But Bry's right, though. Like, Bry's right. You have to look at, I mean, CMC, regardless, it's only it's the second week. All right. Like, if he comes back week 3 and he's CMC, like, this is a win if you get traded CMC.
Week 3 CMC.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it's a fucking win if he comes back and he's himself again. If this injury lingers, you're going to feel like a douchebag. If you're trading for CMC, but if you're not trading him for top of the line talent, you need to get top of the line talent.
There's no point. Back. Yeah, you might as well just keep him.
There's no point. Just hold on to him. But if you could get a fucking AJ Brown or even a Saquon and like another little piece, because I still think you could fucking sucker somebody out of. I think Saquon
straight up would be. I think Saquon straight up and maybe a smaller piece. I'm thinking like if you could get like a
Greg Dortch. Like a Greg Dortch, maybe?
Like a Greg Dortch, maybe.
See, that's what I was thinking. Amon-Ra, Greg Dortch for CMC.
Amon-Ra, Khalil Shakir.
You could do Greg Dortch for CMC straight up, and I think you win if you get Greg Dortch.
All right.
I'm just going to say
maybe Preston wasn't here for the prior conversation, and now he will not be returning. They're very high on Greg Dortch, but God.
Hey, Greg's got some fucking sauce, all right? I want everybody to know that.
He's got legs, I agree.
He's got legs, baby.
All right. Antonio.
Hey, he's Italian.
These names are fire.
I feel it. He's Italian. I know it. He's got Ken Walker. He picked up Chab. I think I'm going to say that's Charbonnet, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, as the handcuff to him late round, but just picked up Jordan Mason. So with Walker out, should I trust his backup Chab or start Jordan Mason? What do you think, Rocky?
I think already seeing what Jordan Mason's been capable of and knowing that CMC is not going to play this weekend, I think you start Mason, and I think if Kenneth Walker comes back next week, then whatever, you missed out on the experiment. But I think you can't go wrong with starting Jordan Mason, the starting back out there. He's going to get the CMC usage. That's what they do with their running backs because they got so used to it by having CMC. That's kind of what they do now. It's drawn up in their offensive scheme. And if, Charbonnet has the week, but I don't think he's going to outscore Jordan Mason. So I don't think you can really go wrong. And for whatever case may be, if you did want to start Charbonnet, dynamic back, and he said 100% Italian.
Goddamn, pop it up, baby. Italians in the goddamn house. What I do want to say is the Vikings, they got a pretty easy a pretty easy layup win last week. I think Sam Darnold's going to be seeing some ghosts again, probably. Look for Jordan Mason to have a big fucking game. He's going to have a big fucking game, I think. You got to listen. This guy came out of the gates with what? 160, 170. What was it? 140? How many fucking yards did he have? Didn't he have a fuck ton of yards?
Mason?
Mason.
127 or something like that?
I think it was closer to 140. I'm almost positive. But the fucking kid ran for a lot, and they played, I think, in my opinion, a much better defense than what the Vikings possess. So you got to start Jordan Mason this week.
He said, yeah, the Seahawks backup. You just didn't know how to spell his name, Zach Charbonnet. And then Chandler Constantino, keeping it fucking Italian in here.
Italians in the degenerate chat today.
Change our show to Italian.
Jesus, give me the fucking flag behind us. Come on.
It says, listen, I'll read it correctly. Okay, it says, start Zeke or Ford, Fields or Purdy, and Colts or Browns defense. We're gonna start there before we continue. Hold on, start Zeke or Ford.
Brian, give it to me.
I mean,
Jerome Ford.
I think I'm starting Ford over Zeke.
Oh, I'm starting Zeke. Go ahead.
I think I'm starting Ford.
Fields or Brock Purdy.
And the reason why I'm taking Ford is because I think based off of your other questions, you need potential points.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
See, that's
Fields or Purdy.
Okay, if you're choosing between
Purdy.
Fields and Purdy, I'm assuming you are not favored to win this week.
Fields has the rushing upside, but I mean, Purdy's got the better
you're
offense.
starting Purdy. You're starting Purdy.
Yeah,
There's
Purdy, out of curiosity, I've never really had or watched or seen what he puts up fantasy points wise. Is he a profitable fantasy quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. He's fine.
Yeah,
He's top 15.
Colts or Browns
Colts
defense. Who are the Colts playing?
Colts are playing the Green Bay Packers and Malik Willis, so you're starting the Colts.
You're starting the Colts, and also Josh Jacobs is questionable. So
yeah, you're starting the Colts defense against Malik fucking Willis, okay? That's not even a question. It's Colts.
Okay, it says trade. I don't know if this means traded or he's going to. He said trade. I'm going to assume it's traded. Traded Olave for Henry. Traded Purdy, Debo, Ford, Olave for Hurts, AJ. Okay, these are maybe potential trades. Trade Purdy, Debo, Ford, Olave for Hurts and AJ Brown. Oh, we're picking what trade is better. And then running back Ford, Zeke, Mostert, Javonte, CMC, wide receiver. I'm lost. I apologize. You guys following me?
Right, picking up I think we got it. So what he's asking real quick, let's take it one step by step here. Would you trade Olave for Henry, Brian?
Yes. Well,
okay.
I'm assuming this is his roster below, right?
Yes.
CMC, Mostert.
He's got Ford, Zeke, Mostert, Javonte Williams, CMC at running back. He's got Olave, Rice, Debo, Evans, and Thielen at wide receiver.
Yes, I make that trade. I want to stack running backs.
Yeah. All right. Do you trade Purdy, Debo, Ford, and Olave for Hurts and an AJ Brown stack? Rocky Prop, give it to me.
So you're trading one stack for another. A way better stack and a stack into someone that is rushing upside like Jalen Hurts, who also has a ton of weapons to throw to. And Jerome Ford and Olave. Olave hasn't really done shit, isn't going to do much this season. And Jerome Ford, you can fucking, use him until Nick Chubb comes back. It's depending on how he does. I think you're trading into a lot of good value in a better offense necessarily. I think with the addition of Saquon and CMC being out, I think that you could say the Eagles are a better offense than the Niners, which I'm sure Brian's over there cheesing for. And yes, I would definitely make that trade. And
it's Hurts and AJ Brown, right? You got to trade for Hurts and AJ Brown. I want more exposure to the Eagles right now, I think.
But he said his running back core is Zeke, Mostert. Oh, but he has CMC.
Yeah,
so you're good. Wait for CMC to come back, and you're lit.
Yeah,
and you get to keep Mike Evans.
And
Touchdown.
you need a better quarterback. If you're deciding between Fields or Purdy, I would definitely get that AJ Brown Hurts stack. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's nasty. Put that through. Come back and let us know on Sunday if you got that off. Preston B says thoughts on CMC and Godwin for Jettas and Kyron. So we were talking about a CMC trade. Here's one in front of us. So I'm assuming he has CMC and Godwin, and someone's offering Jettas and Kyron. So Jettas obviously has the Sam Darnold thing. That's a little bit better than what Tyreek's got going on. And Kyron is looking good. And so is Jettas, at least in my opinion. And so is Godwin, though. And CMC, when he comes back, if he comes back and does, that's the thing, though. Everyone's like either trying to wait on CMC or trade for him. And the one concern I have is the last season I saw CMC injured, it just kept coming back and just kept coming back. It kept coming back. So
True.
If he comes back like week 4, I can see him re-aggravating whatever this is. And also, it's Achilles tendonitis. Tendonitis is inflammation of your Achilles tendon, and it doesn't necessarily means it's more likely to rupture, but having an aggravated tendon does not help prevent ruptures in general. So it's already off to a bad start. It's something that you rehab, and also it's just like a hammy. Like anything with your legs that's aggravated always finds a way to return. I don't mind this at all. I would take Jettas and Kyron and just stop worrying about it. I would not want to worry about CMC.
Listen, the only thing I worry about what Rocky just said, it is a little concerning that this keeps lingering, especially from a last year injury. But I feel like you got to get someone better than I like Jettas. I like Kyron. I'm high on both, but that Sam Darnold shit, I feel like has it has a ceiling. No. It doesn't have legs. It has a ceiling, like a clear ceiling.
It has an expiration date.
It does. It really does. Like there is going to be a moment where he remembers he's Sam Darnold, and it's gonna. I mean, when he plays a good fucking defense, dude, it's gonna get bad. Like when we watch him play, he's gonna remember who he is, and he's not a good quarterback. So I don't want exposure to Jettas right now. I would take Kyron, but you can't trade CMC for him. This could be a situation where the Niners don't bring CMC back for like a couple more weeks, and then they trot him out midway through the season, and he just screams through the fucking playoffs into the Super Bowl. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about your fantasy points. They want to fucking win a Super Bowl finally, dude. They want to win a Super Bowl. I think they fucking keep him out.
I don't think the Niners should rush him back with the production that Mason's giving him.
Yeah.
And I just also think, it depends on your team. If you need scoring now and you cannot wait, if your team's like light at the say the wide receiver and running back position, and you need running back mainly, because if you're getting Kyron in return, say if you got fucking Jerome Ford and Tony Pollard there, I would be probably more inclined. I don't think you can wait till week 5. Who y'all flexing? Half PPR, Andrews or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Answer this question. I'm gonna turn the light on.
All right. That's fuck. I mean, it's a shame with Mark Andrews that he's dealing with Isaiah Likely and all this, but also he was in a car accident in August, and I'm assuming at some point they're gonna start ripping him up and getting him in the offense, but they have no inclination to now because Isaiah Likely's playing so well. And with Brian Thomas Jr., he's definitely the better running back at this point in his career than Austin Eckler, which is crazy to say. Not really, actually. And they're playing the Giants too. I mean, Bri, don't you think that that's probably like the better matchup and the more productive player who has the better, like they're both in a split role between Isaiah Likely and Austin Eckler, but Andrews didn't even get playing time last week.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants are such dog shit, right? I mean, I'm sorry, Rocky.
So I know, trust me.
You have Washington and New York playing each other. They're the 2 worst teams in the NFC East. Someone's got to score. And if I'm going to pick someone, I would pick one of their running backs or a quarterback scoring a touchdown. So
hold on. He says Brian Thomas. Oh, Brian. Why did I read that wrong?
Brian Robinson.
I was saying Robinson. I'm sorry.
Level.
Yeah, sorry about that, brother. Brian Thomas from Jacksonville. Oh, I'm starting Brian Thomas all day. Picked him up off waivers. Dude had a great game. Trevor Lawrence is looking to expand and broaden his wide receiver spread, and I think this kid's got juice, and that's something that they haven't had since, I would say, Calvin Ridley, but Calvin Ridley was like with his walker running downfield. I think Brian Thomas is something that's been inserted into this offense that's actually giving Trevor Lawrence some excitement and some like, hey, I got somebody I can give the ball to. Fuck Christian Kirk. Fuck Gabe Davis. Christian
You watch
Kirk
your bitch ass mouth.
Nah, I knew you were gonna say, but Christian Kirk, he'll like be old reliable, like the old mule at the stomping grounds. Fucking Gabe Davis will get one deep bomb or no targets. If Josh Allen's not throwing the ball to Gabe Davis, why is Trevor Lawrence going to throw the ball?
I agree with you. I think that Cowboys game for the Browns is a little deceiving. I think the defense played a lot better than what it looked like they played. I know that sounds kind of fucking weird. They did have good, like pretty sustained pressure in the first half. I think that just based off of matchup, I like, if we're talking Mark Andrews, I would assume, right? I think just off a matchup, the Ravens are playing the Raiders, the Jags are playing the Browns. I favor I want to play the Raiders defense rather than the Browns defense because I do think that Browns defense is very fucking skilled and talented. And I would be very shocked if we don't hear some shit about how Deshaun Watson's fucked again and suspended again. And if it's Jameis Winston fucking suiting up for the Browns, then that's a different question. But that defense is rough. And he's a rookie wide receiver. So I'm going to go Andrews. I'll zig a little bit instead of the zag there.
Cool. Last call for questions. We have 367 people on Twitter. Got some people in the chat on YouTube. We were live on TikTok. If you guys want to check us out. It's at Degen Fantasy. We are also sponsored by SoBet. If you want to tail the best picks on the internet, you can join in our description link below. And from there, gentlemen, what out of college or NFL or anything, whether it's European cricket, what game are you most looking forward to watch and sit down and fucking take a load off and watch this weekend?
I want everyone to pay attention to the West Virginia Pittsburgh game. I think that Desmond Reed is going to have himself a goddamn game. That line we handed out on SoBet a couple days prior to this situation, to this podcast or stream. We gave it out at 89.5. It's already been steamed up to 91.5. You're looking at a Pittsburgh Panthers team that are fucking electric on offense. They are fucking moving at a breakneck pace, and West Virginia has a terrible defense right now. And I think that Pittsburgh is live for a huge offensive day. So I'm going to take him over 89.5. I really like that play. And then I'm going to take Holstein for over 1.5 touchdowns. That's Pittsburgh's quarterback. He's thrown for an average of 3. In both games, he had 3 touchdowns, I believe. Had a lot of yards as well. So look out for maybe handcuff him with that yards over as well. West Virginia does not have a good fucking defense whatsoever.
Okay. Right.
I memean, from game picks, where I'm 7-0 for the year, props 2-2, so 9-2 total for the year in college football. I'm not. I mean, I've already given out my picks for this week, but the game I'm most interested in watching is to see if Notre Dame can figure it out this week. If Notre Dame cannot figure it out this week, there's a lot on the line for your Fighting Irish, Danny. I think Freeman, his seat gets extremely hot. I think Riley Leonard, his seat gets really hot. I think a lot of shit could happen, and a lot of different storylines are wrapped up into that Notre Dame game. And to be honest with you, I think that they are on upset alert.
You know what? I feel really, really attacked, and I don't like it whatsoever. I'm going to give you out one more real quick. We already had this up. It's already been steamed a little bit. I still like it. Coleman from Washington is playing a Washington State defense that is absolute garbage against the run, and I think that Rocky Prop may have just gotten struck by a nuclear bomb or something like that.
Died.
Oh, okay, good. Thought you got struck by. I thought Putin took you out, buddy. I thought Putin. Got
You saw that too? Yeah,
I'm seeing all that. He's been looking for you, buddy. He's been looking for you. Anyways, Jonah Coleman, I think he goes over. His prop total is 92.5. I know that seems high. This Washington State defense is absolute garbage. So don't be afraid. You can also find this for about 91, I believe, even on Fanatics right now.
So just to recap, our picks are Missouri -15, Bama -15.5, the over in tonight's game, which starts in about 20 minutes or 6 minutes. I'm sorry. Arizona versus Kansas State. And then the under on the team total for Kentucky at 10.5. So those are the 4 picks that I'm putting out there. Hopefully I stay undefeated. That would be something.
Yeah, it's going to happen again. We're just rounded into form here. So if you guys want the picks, SoBet's the place to get them. Also, just come hang out, man. Well, obviously we're fun. We're doing the hand signals as our boy Chandler says. I mean, we've had all-time great names here tonight. We love the accents. We love the hand motions. You got 2 Italians and 1 kind of Italian. We'll give it to him a little bit because he's got a little Italian in him. I don't know what anyone's, might look like he's got a little different blood in him, but he's more Italian than most people is with the degeneracy. So, thanks for coming out, everybody, tonight. I think we're good, yeah?
Yeah, hey, Brock, can you send me your...
One and a half Italians and an Asian.
Brock, can you text the list of picks in the chat? In our group chat? Please and thank you.
So Rocky Prop can take him because he doesn't know how to.
Yes, I can place him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it, boys.
We got you, buddy.
And then, by the way, my games that I'm excited to watch this week before we run, I'm really excited.
Do you watch sports? That's so weird.
I do watch sports. I'm very excited to watch the Bucks-Lions game. Going to be fucking dope. I'm excited to watch the Rams and Cardinals. And I'm also excited are you ready for it? To watch the LSU South Carolina game on Saturday.
Oh, I wonder why he's excited for the South Carolina Gamecocks to play. I wonder why. Probably because of the name. Does he love cocks? Maybe. We don't know. We don't know, guys.
You gotta expose me. Damn, we're still live.
Oh, sorry.
I gotta tell everybody.
There's a very good chance that is going to be a monsoon.
I can't wait.
I enjoy a nice little monsoon.
Brian Kelly's going to be so upset with his red face. I can't wait. So good. All
right, gentlemen. Well, that'll do it. We went for 1 hour and 42 minutes. These streams just get longer and longer, and that will do it for today. Much love. Appreciate y'all. We'll check you later. Peace.
I say, why does it feel so good to be there? Getting what I want, boy. Why does that make you so mad?